morning. Good morning. It is, what is it? Tuesday morning. Headed to work. It's raining. So you may hear my windshield wipers and the rain hitting my car. Yeah, I just want to talk about, I had a woman come into my job yesterday, and at first glance and at first, I would consider her an older woman. You know what I mean? Like older than me, just an older woman. She is looking for services that my office provides. So I've had communication with her prior to yesterday on the phone. And there's certain documentation that's required if you're applying for our services. So, and it's like our office is now set, well, it has been set up since COVID. Our office is set up to where if someone wants our services, they don't even have to come into the office unless they want to. I can email them the paperwork. They can do that, they can do that online. And then, I'm sorry, I was a little distracted there for a second. They can fill out the paperwork online, email it to me, and then, they do have to attend an orientation, but we can but that is virtual. It's actually virtual. Set that up, then they can have a counseling appointment with one of our counselors, and that can be virtual or in the office. So anyway, so in other words, if someone is not able to get to our office for whatever reason, it's fine. We can still service them in the same way that we can service someone that comes into the office. Okay. Just to put that out there. So again, we started out on the phone. I sent her the paperwork via email. There's five documents that she needs to send back to me. She sent me one, and she sent me one from two different emails. And then what was real weird and real confusing for me was she called herself two different names. I mean, the names were similar, but they were two different names. And so that was confusing. And in one of the emails, it had one name, and I think the other one had the other name. So I was getting real confused, but basically she had only sent me one of the 5 documents. So I called her, left her a message saying, hey, I got your one document from the 2 different emails, but I still don't have the other 4 documents, and I need that in order to move you to the next step. So yesterday, she walks into my office, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, great, because now we can get this all straightened out. And like I said, when she first told me who she was, I saw her as an older woman. So then we talked about her whole email situation, and she said, okay, so her main email was an AOL. And that was that's the email that she uses. And then the secondary email that I kept getting emails from her from was an iCloud. So I questioned that, like, which email is correct? And she said to me she didn't know why the iCloud email, like, that's not set up for, like, she's not using that one. In other words, she believes what's happening is that it's somehow it was set up as a BCC email, and so all of her email. But if it was BCC, I don't know. But I was getting emails from both of those email addresses. But anyway, so she said like the iCloud she's not using, it's the AOL. And I'm thinking to myself, ain't nobody using AOL no more. Like, and the services that my office provides is related to getting a job. You ain't getting no job when they see that AOL account. I'm sorry, but you're going to be labeled as someone that's out of touch, out of, you know, they. So, okay. And I'm using this woman as an example. We see this all the time with people that are, I would say, anywhere from 50 on up. And they all consider themselves as old. So anyway, I looked up her, you know, her age on her once she left. I mean, of course I didn't do that in front of her because I was just curious. I was like, her mannerism and all is of an older woman. Come to find out, she's 60. Now, to me, 60 is not old. You know, maybe when my parents were, you know, 60, that was a different era, that was a different time. You know, they were old when they were 60, you know what I mean? But today, a 60-year-old should be computer savvy. Like most 60-year-olds that I know are still working, because you can't retire until you're 7. So you're still working, but you're computer savvy. You might not know all the every single whatever, but somebody put a computer in front of you, you know what to do. You can reply to an email. You can, you can do some basics. And it was, I really felt for this woman because, and she did share that whatever job she just was in, had for however many years, it was not computer based. It was, I don't know if it was manual labor or what. Because I'm just thinking, what type of work could you have been doing that had nothing to do with, like you never used a computer or minimal use of a computer. Anyway, so I had her fill out the paperwork that she didn't fill out and didn't send back. She filled that out, so that was good. And then, so then this was crazy. This was kind of crazy. I always, when a person comes into our office, I need to confirm, because I'm going to be emailing them moving forward. So I need to confirm their email address. So the way I confirm it is I send them an email while they're standing at my desk. And so I sent her an email, and so she's like, oh, I didn't get it. And that happens sometime. I'm like, check your junk mail, maybe, like, give it a few minutes, maybe, it went into your spam or whatever. And so she's like, no, what I'm going to do is on my way home, I'm going to stop at the T-Mobile store and have them upload my email. What century are you living in? Like, no. Now we have, at my job, we have computers that people, like herself and all our clients can use. So I allowed her to use our computer, and she was able to go into her AOL account. But it was so I didn't sit there and watch her, but it was a process to go into her AOL account. At least for her, it was a process. She had to pull out a piece of paper, I guess with her username and password on it, and go into the app, the website. And then once she got into it, she was like, oh, here's the email that you sent me. And I was like, yeah, that's the email that I sent you. But it was just such a I felt for her. A part of me was like, you gotta be kidding. This is 2025 and you are 60 years old. You are not 75, 80. So, okay. So we got the paperwork cleared. She got the email that I sent. And then, so then for the orientation. Now, our orientation is 100% virtual. And when I say it's 100% virtual, the presenter who's doing the facilitator who's doing the orientation, it's a live orientation, meaning it's not a video that we send them. It's live. But the person is sitting in their office, usually. They're sitting in a office. And they're by themselves. And they are presenting the information. There's no live audience at all. It's not, we used to have a live audience. Everybody used to be in person, but now it's virtual. So, because she was having all these issues, I always offer, I said, the orientation is virtual, but I'm like, if you're having all these issues just getting your email, I can't imagine you getting onto, a Zoom call or anything. So I offered her to come to our office to do the orientation, or to watch the orientation. Now, I told her, we're going to put you in a private room and you're going to watch it online just like you were home. Don't think you're going to come into our office and you're going to see a live presentation. It's not set up like that anymore. And she was like, okay, that's actually better, and again, there's a part of me that's really feeling for this woman because she is so behind the times. But then there's a part of me that's like, oh my God, lady, you need to get it acclimated to 2025, because the world is moving and you are going to be left behind and you ain't got no job. I got to see what kind of work she did, because she's not going to get hired in anything that requires a computer, unfortunately. Even, and I hate to say this, but a job at Walmart, no, she would get hired at Walmart. She would get hired at Walmart. But a job, it was scary. And like I said, is this not the first, second, third time I've had someone with the same scenario? And I'm just like, these are people that are being left behind. And we all know someone like this, in our personal life, in our family, friend, and we have, as a society, we have to help move them along, or they will get left behind. And that's going to affect all of us. because she was clueless. And you know, I gently, because of the type of work we do, we have to be very careful. People are sensitive today, and especially someone that's out of work, you know. So I very gently suggested to her, maybe get a Gmail account. You know what I mean? But gently. And she kind of chuckled when I said that. And I was so serious. Because I'm like, first of all, when you put AOL on your resume, they're gonna know your age right there before they even meet you. It just was sad. It was sad, and like I said, there are a lot of people like her in our society, and we have to help move them along. Plain and simple. Because just like right now, I'm in traffic. We are all in traffic. It's backed up. And what's causing the backup is they've closed the lane I'm in. They've closed it. But I'm turning off up here in a second. But it's like there are people that are causing the lane to be closed in our society, like, you know what I mean? And so therefore we're all stuck in traffic because of it. And I'm not saying that to be mean to this woman, but for the grace of God, like I could be her. In a few years I could be her, but regarding, like AI, for example, like the whole world has moved on to AI, and everybody's acclimated with it, and I'm still stuck because I'm resisting change, and because I'm not really understanding what it is. And anyway, I'm just talking. I just thought that was a interesting observation yesterday. And like I said, I've had multiple people exactly like her, men and women, and it's really sad because this woman she's not that old. But first of all, her perception of herself is old. And she even said something like, and she was old. I'm saying that we've got to do a better job at helping each other along, whether it be your neighbor, your friend, checking in with them and making sure they're good. And I don't know, but I was just really felt for this woman. Like I said, a part of me felt for her, but a part of me, wanted to kind of like, where have you been living for the past, however many years, 20 years or so? What rock were you living under? Because you have no skills whatsoever as far as computers. And you have young people in your life, and usually they will be the ones to help you. I know when I first got my iPhone, I don't know how many years ago I got my first iPhone. I mean, sure, I've had multiple iPhones since, but my great niece actually, she had to help me. She had to help me set it up, create a password, create a username, you know, all of that. And to this day, every time I sign in with my password, I remember my niece, you know, helping me out. So anyway, if you have anyone in your life that's considered older and they're not as savvy, computer savvy with, you know, just take some time to make sure they are up to date on the world's changing quickly, you know. So make sure they're good on some basic things. Not just, sure, check in with your you know, these family members, friends and stuff, especially elderly, if they need food or anything like that, of course that. And health-wise, are they taking their meds? Are they taking whatever, supplements? I need somebody to check in with me on that. But also check in with them on their technology. You know, my church actually did a thing this past Sunday with the different platforms that my church is, you know, like we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, you know, and some of the older people may not be as familiar with those platforms. So let's get them, you know, the event was to, hey, and you didn't have to be older, you could have been anybody, but come in, we got computers set up, let's help you to navigate through some of these apps, you know, that our church is now using, and so that we can all be on one accord, be on the same page, you know what I mean? So anyway, I know I'm rambling this morning, but I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was such an interesting situation. And again, it's very common in my office. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. Have a great day. Be safe. Don't forget to like the video and comment below. Have you experienced this with anybody you know, in your family or friends circle, your immediate circle of influence? Is anyone kind of, you know? And sometimes people are embarrassed. I'll say this last thing. They're embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say I don't even know. I don't have an I was going to say Instacart. I don't have an Instagram account, or I think I do. Actually, I think I do have an Instagram account. I couldn't tell you what. I've never posted anything on there. I don't even know, like, I don't understand it. Now, do I understand YouTube? Absolutely. But Instagram, nah. And any other, the TikTok and all of that, no. So we all have our little areas where we're not, you know, as savvy as we could be. But you know, either get someone younger to help you figure it out, or try to figure it out on your own. Watch a YouTube video on it. You know, the basics of TikTok. You know, like, there's a YouTube video on everything under the sun. So do that, and you know, get yourself going. If you're the one that is, you know, kind of behind, which there's no shame in that. You know. Anyway, have a great day. Be safe. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.